Right, back with you tonight on In Focus. Now, convicted rapist and murderer Thabo Bester and his accomplice Dr Nandipha Magudumana are actually expected to touch down in South Africa any minute now. They are with the South African officials who left to fetch them from Tanzania on Sunday. And our politics editor, Lukhanyo Calata, got wind of this and he's live now outside the Lanseria International Airport where the fugitives are expected to arrive. Lukhanyo, clearly you know something that we do not know. So when can we expect the plane to land?
Thabo, good evening. So based on a very well-placed source, Thabo Bester, as well as his accomplice, Dr Nandipha Magudumana, left Tanzania a little bit earlier this evening, around about 6 o'clock. Now, obviously, the flight from Dar es Salaam to Johannesburg is about 3.5 to 4 hours long. Now, according to our source, they were supposed to fly into Lanseria Airport at around 10 o'clock tonight. So we arrived at exactly 10 o'clock, Thabo, and I was able to go inside the terminal, which is behind me, just to look around and to see whether or not there was any sort of like police activity that was out of place. I can tell you that everything seemed pretty normal inside of there. I spoke to some police officers, Thabo, who told me that they weren't briefed about any sort of, chartered plane that should arrive. But if, of course, there is an aeroplane that's carrying someone like Thabo Bester, as well as his accomplice, Dr Nandipha Magudumana, they would most likely not be told about it because obviously the authorities would want to keep that quite harsh and not for it to be leaked. So at this stage, Thabo, like I said, we've been here for just a little over 30 minutes, but we haven't seen anything up to this point.
Well, the commissioner earlier on asked about that question, was predicting that possibly by Friday would be the time Thabo Bester would have arrived. What do you think could have happened between that time and now that could have facilitated the process to move a little bit quicker?
Thabo, so, there's a lot of moving parts, to this story. And you saw how quickly things developed this evening when there was news that came out about a second arrest, or at least a third arrest, as well as someone that was also then taken into custody after this one person or suspect, if I can call him that, was found driving the white very expensive car that used to belong to Dr Magudumana. So there's a lot of moving parts in the story. And our source, Thabo, is someone that is quite well placed, who's got intimate knowledge of this case and things as they are unfolding. Yes, the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemola, earlier on told our colleague, Uati Mtongana, that yes, they do expect Thabo Bester and Dr Magudumana to be here by Friday, but he did say he can't promise that. And we also then understand that this delegation of officials have been in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam, since earlier this week, and that they, based on the information that we got from this very well-placed source, that they left Tanzania earlier this evening, expected here. But at this stage, unfortunately, we have not seen any movement from outside Lanseria Airport. Thabo.
Right, Lukhanyo, let's let you go. But before we do that, just final question from your source. Are you getting a sense of whether all three, including the Mozambican national, will be coming to South Africa or just the couple?
Thabo, our understanding at this stage is that it's just the couple. Obviously, that information is not complete. We can't say that, we've confirmed that, but our understanding at this stage, Thabo, is that it's just the couple, because obviously they are the two South Africans in this regard. Where the Mozambican, I honestly, I don't even want to venture into that. But at this stage, our understanding is that it's just the couple that's coming down, to South Africa, where they are, of course, being repatriated. Remember, just yesterday, Thabo, we saw Dr Magudumana's father, appearing in court, charged with, murder, as well as a former G4S security guard that also, was in the dock with Mr. Magudumana. And then, of course, earlier today, we saw the Portfolio Committee on Justice and Correctional Services in Parliament, dealing and posing quite serious questions to officials from G4S. So, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts to this story at the moment, Thabo. What is true at this moment, could develop and to something else within an hour's time. So, our job, I think, in this regard, is to try and stay with the story and to bring, obviously, the latest developments on the story, not just to you, but also, of course, to the viewers at home. Thabo?
Right. Now, I know I said it was my last question, but I'm just thinking now, as you're mentioning moving parts, you and I know, because you and I are in the same WhatsApp group, that there is a briefing that is happening tomorrow by the Justice Cluster at around 8:30. Could that be linked to this?
Thabo, yes, that briefing is quite crucial because our understanding is obviously the ministers, Ronald Lamula for Justice, Correctional Services, alongside Minister Bekele, would want to use that opportunity to obviously then update the nation to say, listen, this young man, Thabo Bester, as well as Dr. Magudumana, are back in the country. At least that's what we are expecting them to say tomorrow. Now knowing that one of our sources has basically told us that this is happening, that they are flying in to Lanseria Airport tonight. So we are expecting that the two ministers will give us or confirm that information for us tomorrow morning. But obviously, there are parts of Lanseria Airport that we're not allowed to, Thabo. So even if they have arrived, they may have been kept in certain parts of the airport that we're not allowed. And therefore, we obviously can't really then confirm whether or not they are here as per the information that we received from our very well-placed source, if I must say. But you're right, that briefing by these two ministers is expected to take place in Parliament in Cape Town tomorrow, and of course we will bring our viewers that briefing live. I think my colleague Atim Tongana will pick that up quite early in the morning. Thabo.
Lukhanyo Calata, much appreciated, our politics editor on the Night Watch. They're out at the Lanseria Airport. According to the sources that are speaking to Lukhanyo, is that a possibility of the two fugitives arriving at that airport tonight. So far, no police activity, but what we do know is that we are getting a briefing tomorrow at 8:30. First thing in the morning, it does seem, from the Justice Cluster, which will include Police Minister Bekele as well as Minister Ronald Lamula. It is a developing story with moving parts every minute of the hour, so it seems.